Ready for this one? Why do you think this BGS 9 Kobe Bryant card sold for over $250,000, while this one barely sold for $200? It's the same image, same set, same grade. What's the difference? Well, the red Kobe card is the extremely rare precious metal gems parallel card with only 100 of them in existence, while the other Kobe is just a standard base card. Crazy how parallels and insert cards can change the price so drastically, huh? Let's take a look at some of the greatest basketball insert and parallel cards that changed the hobby. Inserts and parallel cards have been around for decades and have always been extremely popular amongst collectors. Knowing there are rare cards inserted into packs creates quite the excitement. Every card collector has those fond memories of being on the hunt for that one special card. But before we get into it, let me tell you the difference between inserts and parallels. An insert card is a special card placed randomly into packs with different numerical odds and usually has a completely different design from the base card. Think of it as a set within a set. A parallel card is identical to a base card but has some sort of unique modification to the look of it. It's usually more rare. Basically, a different version of the same card. Insert cards have been around for decades and can be traced back to the days of Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. The 1961 Fleer set featured 22 in-action insert cards and were some of the first trading cards to feature in-game pictures on them. Prior to those, trading cards were mostly portraits or standalone shots of players. Fast forward 20 years later, Topps came out with one of the most sought-after insert cards of all time, and it featured 3 studs: Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Dr. J. This iconic perforated card is also considered Bird and Magic's rookie card, fetching big money in high grades. A couple of years later, Fleer introduced us to arguably the greatest set of all time, the '86 Fleer set. Although the Michael Jordan rookie card was by far the most popular, the 1 per pack sticker cards became widely collectible. The 11-player sticker set became some of the first insert cards of the modern era, now entering the junk wax era. Sticker insert cards became extremely popular throughout the late 80s and early 90s, and while more and more insert cards started popping up, they were later cast aside due to overpopulation. Obviously, as hits became more frequent, demand went down, and in 1991, Upper Deck decided to switch things up and release a hologram insert card. This was the first time that we saw technology incorporated into cards, and of course they were a hit. Then, in 1992, Shaq was drafted to the Magic, and the hobby changed forever. The hype around Shaq saw an increase in product costs as people were willing to pay a premium for such a dynamic player. One of Shaq's first rookie insert cards was his 1992 Skybox Draft Picks card. And after that, we saw the release of the iconic Topps Stadium Club Beam Team inserts. Beam Team insert cards were hot off the bat, with the members-only parallel as one of Shaq's most expensive rookie cards. The Jordan Beam Team was also one of the most recognizable inserts of the 90s. Speaking of Jordans, peep the 1993 Fleer Ultra Michael Jordan Scoring Kings insert. A card of the GOAT with lightning bolts coming out of him. Does it get any cooler than that? 1993-94 was also the inaugural year of Topps Finest, the birth of the ever so popular refractor parallel. Refractors are chrome-like cards with a reflecting rainbow shimmer to them. Refractors had much eye appeal and were limited per box, making them rather scarce. Of course, the Jordan and Penny rookie refractor held the highest demand and still do. Topps Finest was also one of the first higher-end products. The days of 40-cent packs were over. As the mid to late 90s came, card manufacturers got more and more innovative with their insert concepts. We saw the release of the Fleer metal cards boasting some sick inserts, as well as die-cut cards that were extremely limited. The 1996-97 Fleer Showcase set featured the first serial numbered cards called the Legacy Collection Parallel, and were limited to 150 or less. 1996 also saw the first autograph cards in the hobby in the form of Skybox Autographics. Obviously, autographed insert cards took off, and the autographic set lasted for years. And we have to mention the first year of Topps Chrome Refractor cards. The Kobe Bryant BGS Black Label 10 Rookie Refractor went for a cool $1.7 million. 1997-98 was a huge year for insert and parallel cards. First off, it was the premiere of jersey cards, but you can go watch my previous episode for more on that. Also, Fleer Metal Universe inserted precious metal gems, or PMGs, into the set. PMG cards are some of the rarest and most valuable parallels of all time. Not only were these cards distinct in their look, but they were beyond scarce and limited to only 100 copies. The first 10 cards of the set were green and the remaining 90 were red. Even PMGs of no-name players fetch a pretty penny. And these cards are extremely tough to grade due to natural chipping of the foil. That's why this Kobe sold for $264,000 and this MJ PMG sold for $242,000. Flair Showcase also paved the way for one-of-one serial numbered cards. These OG one-of-ones were called masterpieces. There are a handful of other extremely collectible and iconic inserts from the late 90s and early 2000s, but there's simply not enough time to name them all. Most of the early mid to 2000s inserts were dominated by autographs and jersey cards. Then, by 2009, Panini took over the basketball card game and in 2012 released the highly coveted Prizm set. Some would say that the Prizm release was great for the hobby, others would say it destroyed the insert and parallel game. The first year Prizm set only included 3 parallels per card: green, silver, and gold. The silver version is the modern day refractor and is the most attainable. The gold versions were numbered to just 10. Ready for this? In last year's Prizm set, there were 40 parallels per card, each limited in scarcity, but that could drive a collector nuts. Love it or hate it, the new era of card collecting seems like it's here to stay. Other sought-after modern-day insert cards are the Spectra Color Blast cards, Mosaic Stained Glass cards, Panini Studio From Downtown inserts, and one of the most desired inserts, the Panini Kaboom cards. Trends come and go, but inserts have been around forever. It's safe to say that inserts and parallel cards have been a major plus for the sports card hobby, as collectors are always on the hunt for the rarest and next best card. The mystery is in the pack. We'll talk more next week on Mint Conditions.